we get deep into new anime, because that's going to be our topic, for our final topic, whatever animes come in October, because we got some fire coming out. There's some dude that went viral yesterday.
Really?
I had not heard about this story, and my friend Langford was like, you need to check this out. It's hilariously sad, because there was a countdown to this kind of thing.
Oh, now I'm curious.
Well, before, when we were on the topic of video games, do you remember like that nice old lady? Like she was literally called Skyrim Grandma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be similar to that story kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, it's nice to see elderly people get into like something.
Yeah.
So this story was... There was a daughter that was like, hey, you should read this book. You like epic stories and things like this. And you love The Lord of the Rings. So I think you'll really enjoy this story. So he's been doing a review every chapter. And so there started being a countdown when he got to a specific chapter. So he released a video because he reread a couple of chapters before a big event. And he was just excited. He was like, I think I know where this is going, and I'm really hyped for it. So I don't think we can get fragged for just playing a whole video of somebody talking, but when we see what we get to, you'll know.
And it would appear that amulet,
Oh, goodness. Oh, dear God.
found its way to the clear waters of this little river. And who should find it? Frodo.
Oh, no. Wait. Yeah, this is a wait. Yeah, I would not do this to anyone.
Passion in our friend Griffin. He does not want to be anyone's burden. Generals don't want to be a burden. They're leaders.
Oh, my God. This poor man.
And it ends there. Guts hasn't caught up with him. He's going to in the next chapter, I'm assuming. But does this amulet, here's some prophecy potentials. Does this amulet, this veilet, have healing properties? Is it possible that...
Oh, my God. This is so fucked. This is so fucked.
Tendons, new, stitched together.
Don't fucking... God damn, dude. Fuck me.
Restoration. Our friend Griffin. I don't know, but I got to find out.
That comment that I see where it says, I think Guts and them will leave together, it's like, oh my, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, man. Oh my goodness.
I don't think we can spoil. What is it? The original anime of this is from the 90s. The manga would be...
Well, if you know if you know anything about Berserk, that pops up no matter what.
Yeah.
Like somebody brings it up to you even if you've never read it or watched it. It's just happens no matter what. And it's just fucked every time. Oh my goodness. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Berserk's one of those mangas or animes that you're like, this is pretty good. And then it just, then that happens. And you're like, oh my goodness.
Well, so there started being a countdown. Everyone was sharing memes. Somehow they didn't get to him for a little bit. But everyone was like, "What? Let's see what happens after he read the Eclipse."
Oh my God. He looks like he went to war.
So we've been through a lot.
So that was unchill. I'm straight up not having a good time now, bro. Fuck, man. Oh. I feel so bad.
May his name be forgotten forever. Demon of hell, betraying every one of his friends, devouring them in essence.
Let me lower the volume a little bit. Let me just play the actual clip because
it's so fucked.
Okay, so we've been through a lot. I've been through worse. I have no idea. My worst, most vivid imagination couldn't have come up with what's happened.
You really can't. You think you look back at that ride, you're like, how did you come up with this, you sick fuck?
Forever. Demon of hell. Betraying every one of his friends. Devouring them in essence. Subjecting them to the pit of hell. His friends. And poor Guts. Fighting so valiantly against impossible odds. I kept thinking, I know he survived, but at what cost? At what cost? And to see his beloved, and my beloved Koska, what happened to her because of Griffith. Pippin goes down fighting. But does he ever give up? He never gives up. Corcus. Put a cork in it who does not deserve that name.
Case filing.
Corcus. Fighting to the end, dispatching
It's just so fucked. I feel so bad for him, man. He sounds so defeated. Oh my goodness.
Berserk was boring until it happened. I don't believe that at all.
It's not that it's boring. It's just it's so like normal is the best way of putting it. And then it goes exactly the name of it the second that it happens, and it's from then on you're either hooked or you're done with it.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to.
And if you're anime only, you kind of are done with it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, even they were like, "This is fucked."
You can't be anime only.
It's so fucked.
Well, well, on the note of being anime only, there was apparently a fan studio, and we never talked about the trailer because I was like, oh, I found out about it by the Berserk estate being like, stop that. Like, you're not allowed to do that.
That's the problem with fan stuff. They're like, look at what we're doing, and of course they're like, well, stop it. We're just like, of course, the second we find out about it, you're done.
Yeah,
that's what happens with every Nintendo fan remake. Like, oh, we're remaking Metroid 2, and Nintendo's like, the hell you are. Every time, guys. Every time. Stop it. Don't let anyone find out until you're done, is really what you should be doing.
It was Game of Thrones without the high-level dialogue, and that didn't work for me. I mean, I understand kind of what you're saying, but I've also had weird anime ideas where it's like, I like Gungrave before he's a zombie a lot.
I never watched the anime because it was so different than the game was.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I watched, but yeah.
No, it's a good anime, don't get me wrong, but it's completely different than the game was. And it frustrated me to no end. He's like, he's talking? What is this bullshit? Fuck this game, or fuck this anime. I have all the games, by the way. I love that fucking series. I haven't finished the PS5 one yet, though.
Well, where do we start? Do we start with probably one of the first animes that finally got... This was one of the... So Animexcellence started on this thing where it was just kind of like, I'm back in the anime house. In the last episode, we talked about all the new animes that I was into are ending.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I think that was mid-season, so it wasn't ending, but...
Not like JJK is ending.
Oh, right. That was the last one.
Fuck.
It's been a long time.
A lot of stuff is ending, or has ended manga-wise at least. But
JJ ends this week.
Yeah.
But on this note, this is one of the animes that TJ got me into.
Time out. You say this a lot. Now I'm gonna have to grammar check you. Stop saying animes.
This is one of the
anime.
You just say anime.
Animes plural.
It's like, yeah, it's one of those things that happens.
Plural, so I mean that made my defense.
I was like, animes plural.
I actually just saw a Twitter poll of this exact thing where they're like, what is the plural of anime?
Anime.
And it's like anime or animes, and like everybody said anime.
Well, because if you want to sing, like, okay, so anime, you know, is for animation, you don't say animations.
Yeah.
Well,
No, some people say animations.
You can't say
yeah.
animations.
But usually that means like a series of animations. Though.
you're right, but it doesn't. But multiple animation is like, oh, I love animation.
Yeah.
That means a group. So in the same way, anime.
Hey, there's no time.
The fuck?
Is that Sonic? Who is that?
No, it's Sonic. Somebody made an AI video. I just opened TikTok to pull clips. Go on.
Yeah. I mean, it's like tomato, but one's wrong. It's anime.
Yeah, that's just when you say multiple shows, you usually don't use the S in it. When you say series of animations, it's usually like a set of animations that you're looking at. But anime is the only one that never has the S on it.
Oh my god! Pause. I hate when they use this fucking song.
What is this song?
It's AMV music.
It's just the AMV generic TikTok song.
AMVs are
Stop
not,
using that song.
You guys need to go back to Linkin Park, like God intended.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Sorry, it's like I'm talking like I say animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my problem with animated
like,
series...
No, animations is how you put it. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the animations in this movement.
In this movement is different, yeah. But like when you look at a Bugs Bunny cartoon, you're like, these are really impressive animations, kind of thing. Whereas when you say animation by itself, then I'm fine with. My problem with saying animated series is that animated series is, for me, is adapting something. Like Spider-Man, the animated series, Batman, the animated series, Green Lantern, the animated series, so forth and so forth. But yeah.
I think you're gonna have to go to YouTube for these.
I guess so, but I was just hoping to find a clip. I don't think I'm going to find it, but there was somebody at because Linkin Park is touring again. We're not going to get in deep.
We're not going to get deep into that, yeah.
But
because that's a whole other bucket of can of
There's
worms.
a lot of
I almost said
worms.
bucket of worms, and I'm like, well, maybe actually because it's huge. So,
But when it comes to Linkin Park touring again, somebody like was watching an anime with the video. Like,
I think I saw that one. Yeah, I think it was Vegeta turning Super Saiyan or some shit, if I remember.
oh, the one I saw was Naruto. Like somebody was
okay.
watching the Rock Lee fight.
Oh, okay. I saw a Vegeta one, but I think it was just like a picture of it.
Well, let me take you back to. I mean, when was the World Cup? 2 years ago.
I don't know enough about sports.
Okay, well, it was like 2 years.
I guess.
Well, at that point, Blue Lock was taking off.
Yes, it was Tuesday.
And now we're getting season 2. And I don't know if I've ever seen something that got me more hyped because it was like you watch the anime, then go watch Japan beat Germany. Like it was a strange time to be alive.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, it's this anime. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot to look forward to in this arc. This next one's fire. I love Blue Lock. I mean, I loved it before it came out because I read the manga. I love it now. It's going to be fantastic. And the only thing that can make it go wrong is Blue Lock is animation dependent. So you need to make sure that there's quality animation through and through because I think they did a pretty good job in the first season. I think the first half and the latter, I think the first 6, 7, or 8 episodes were really, really good. The last few episodes were really, really good, but the middle was meh.
Which studio makes these? Do we know?
My gosh, not off the top of my head. That's a good question.
Because studios, yeah, those tend to make or break some of these.
I think it's done by this. If they do it from the same studio as the first one, like I expect a similar kind of turnout. Like the first season was. But at the same note,
A Blue Lock dimension.
Deluxe, yeah, it was very interesting.
But I do have a lot of high hopes for this next season. It is not what I'm looking forward to the most this season, though. Continue on.
Well, we started this anime segment by talking about fucked up shit. I figured this is the king of fucked up shit to a degree. Adult Swim got their hands on
Oh yeah,
Uzumaki.
Yeah.
This was supposed to come out ages ago, by the way.
Yeah, COVID put a damper on things.
Yeah.
Was it just like they couldn't animate all the weirdness in time?
I forgot why. It was supposed to be last year,
Yeah,
like in November of last year.
and I know that they had to. One, it was a lot of negotiating to get the rights to it and everything. Mm-hmm. Two, once they had the rights, I know that the guys that run Toonami had to go to Japan and get like blessed at a Shinto shrine because they're adapting something so evil.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, is that part of it? I didn't know that.
That was probably.
I wouldn't be
Once
surprised.
they got 100% like signed on to animate it, they probably just did that immediately afterwards. But yeah,
If you guys have never read his stuff, read as much as you can, but do it in the middle of the day because it's fucking insanity, and I love it every time.
this comes out Saturday.
We have a lot of
really?
stuff that comes out Saturday. We're not going to watch trailers for everything because I don't want Key to edit this show and it's 40 minutes long. But
No, we can watch trailers and everything. Fuck it. No, there's particular. We have Dragon Ball. I mean, I'm not touching Toei. Dragon Ball Daima. It's coming. Let me take a step back.
that's the headliner.
That's yeah.
Uzumaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Fun and.
Are you a horror anime guy? I've actually never seen you even talk about horror movies, really.
So, let me just put this in perspective. I'm okay. Like I'm weird with horror. I'm not usually fazed by many things. Horror's not like something that gets me a lot. I usually laugh at horror movies. Like Hereditary, hilarious.
Yeah,
That is pretty funny, actually.
And I was the only person who laughed in that theater, and everyone thought I was crazy. I was like, when she got donked, I said, Shit was, and then I left, and I was like, this movie kind of sucked. But a lot of people like it. Not gonna hate on it. So on the same note, horror manga. There's not. First of all, there's not a ton.
No.
There's not that many. And the horror that they tend to go for is like if you start to get into a lot of horror, it tends to be gore, and manga doesn't do shit for me. I'm not phased. Monster doesn't count. Monster's like a little bit more psychological.
Yeah, that's like Blood on the Tracks is another one that I've heard a lot about.
It really varies with horror animes because of the fact that their idea of horror is like Evil Dead levels of gore,
Yes.
which is more funny than it is horrifying. And then sometimes it's horrifying but doesn't make any sense, like Wolf's Rain, I think is what I'm thinking of.
Wolf's Rain.
Is like, this is just fucked up and I don't know what the fuck's going on,
There was
kind
a
of
lot of
thing.
trailer.
Oh, okay.
And then we're like, the reason Junji Ito works for me every time is that he's very good at drawing fucked up things but having really interesting stories behind them.
Yeah.
Like one of the weirdest stories ever made is it's the honey one. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think.
There's a story that he made about a guy who has like this thing of honey, and it's so good that people don't like anything other than this honey when they eat it. But every time you eat it, there's a small chance that you will be swatted into a pancake from something. No one knows what it is.
Yeah.
You literally just are flattened, and there's just blood everywhere, and it's so fucking weird. But you're just like, stop eating the honey, guys. But they can't because
It's so good.
everything else sucks ass now compared to this honey. And it's just like, and he just has weird stories like that. The other weird one is no, not the holes one. The holes one is fucked up but weird. But that one gets memed to death. Is the giant heads that hang people. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's as if you went outside and you saw yourself as a giant head with a rope at the end of it, and it just chased after you and then just killed you. But it has one of the funniest moments of his entire series where they're like, nobody's allowed to go outside, and the dad's like, but I gotta go to work. And so he tries to leave for work and gets fucking killed because the thing goes after him. And it's one of the funniest things that's ever happened. But it sticks with you. Everything he does sticks with you, and it's the reason why he's so prolific. Also, every time you see a picture of him, he seems like the nicest human being on the planet, which makes it that much funnier.
Heard that he's actually like a really cheerful guy. Like it makes sense. Like Guillermo del Toro is as well. Tim Burton is. Yeah. But like the dude that did Spirited Away and all that stuff,
Miyazaki.
is depressed as fuck.
That's the meme. Once you have this Miyazaki looking like he's like, I'm gonna kill myself at any moment, and it cuts to Junji Ito like dancing in the rain with an umbrella, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Both images in the chat with my brother.
It's amazing. Kills me.
How are you feeling today?
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. It shows like the people who really like whimsical things seem to be super depressed for some reason.
So this isn't the only thing I know about you in horror movies. Is that body horror gets to you?
So you want to go watch The Substance?
Doesn't work in manga.
Okay, that was my question.
So actually, that's a weird one. Doesn't work in manga. Can sort of put me off in a game. And by body horror, I mean like
Dead Space 2?
No, more like Dead Space is fine.
No, but I mean like the very specific sequence in Dead Space 2.
No, I'm not playing Dead Space 2.
Oh, okay, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. Then it involves an eyeball. Let's just go with that. The people probably know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what
It's fucked.
Probably not. It's more.
It's so fucked.
It's more like Tusk.
Oh, okay.
Or like what's that one? Not Nicolas Cage, but there was this one purple light movie thing. Oh my gosh, with the
Color Purple.
No,
No, it's
no.
Color Out of Space.
Color Out of Space is what you're thinking of. I want to watch that version of The Color Purple. I want the body horror version of The Color Purple. Fuck it, that's amazing. I would watch that so quickly.
To be so sincere.
He was so like sure of the answer.
You know what's funny is I can't look this up, but well, first of all, the light is purple in that movie. A, B.
No, that's not getting you out of that.
It's not, but it's the funniest possible thing that could have happened. Holy
beer-
shit. I love that so much.
From Fort
I love that answer so much. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Continue the bit.
That's how Oprah was. Yeah, she was nominated for body horror. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Bro, you stun locked me.
I don't know what to say either.
Yeah, no. So very specific types of body horror. Outside of that, Yeah, I'm like real, like, because I love. To me, the best format for horror will always be gaming. I think, and if you want to get really particular, VR gaming is the best format for horror games. If you've never played a horror game in VR, it will change your perspective on how horror games can even operate. I think VR's headsets should just be horror game machines, to be honest.
What's amazing about those horror games on VR is it doesn't matter how realistic it is, your brain just doesn't care.
Yeah.
It freaks you out no matter what.
It's because
Fuck that. I
okay.
beat Resident Evil 7 like 3
late.
times.
Oh, really?
And then they put the VR version out there, and I was like, I am not touching that.
Oh, dude, I bought Resident Evil 4 VR for MetaQuest 2, and the chainsaw guy, I'm like, I am fucking scared shitless right now.
You're telling me these are two different movies?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I can
the same
understand the
movie.
confusion now.
They're the same picture. The same picture, yeah.
it's the audio.
Oh, yeah, audio.
So
Yeah, audio is very... It's what changes Mortal Kombat fatalities from being silly to more fucked up is the audio. And that's exactly what happens with body horror stuff. If the audio is that much better at something, then your reaction is that much more visceral.
I don't think people quite... Because when I...
Sound design is super fucking important.
No, so sound design in gaming, and this is going to kind of crossing into both mediums here. Sound design in general, I don't think gets enough talked about nearly.
No, it doesn't.
In particular, sound design in gaming changes the perspective of how your relationship with the game and each object and each sort of interaction takes place, because you change how you frame your mind and your your serotonin receptors, like the way you're scared, your fear, all of those things are linked to certain sounds that you start to condition yourself as you go through a game. Horror takes that up to like, well, I think every game is important with sound design. Horror takes that up to like 11, because the difference between hearing footsteps moving on this side of your ear, and you hear it in a distance, versus just having general audio and not being able to kind of have that attuned properly, can change the experience immensely.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I say, when I give VR a lot of props, if you've never put on a MetaQuest 2 or 3, the audio is like, you're not wearing a headphone. The audio is just like, because of the way they do it, the audio is right here in your ears. So everything you hear, every movement, everything is just surrounding you, and they focus on audio design, at least in the games I play, to where it really does change how your perspective is in relation to that, outside of the fact you have nowhere that you can run to. And in the same, even if you're sitting down playing with a controller, Alien Isolation is a great example of this.
Oh, yeah.
Alien Isolation, in terms of its Resident Evil, is a great Resident Evil Remake's a great example of these things, because I'm sorry, you could see me nerding out a little bit, because I think it's such a quintessential part of the experience that just... like, and when it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, in one of the anime that I actually like, that's coming out in the fall, that I had the opportunity to see early, that we'll talk about in a bit. It's kind of like when you go to I went to Regal Westgate. I mean Regal, not Westgate. Regal.
Gateway.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Got it right that time.
And then I went.
They're showing the color purple, yeah.
And then I watched something down at Cinemark South Park.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it extends to anime. It extends to anything, because if you've not sat into it, and if you've not sat in a movie theater, I have surround sound at home. Yeah. So if you've not sat in a movie theater where their sound is bad, Regal Gateway's terrible. Their sound is bad, just bad. I like Regal, but your sound is bad. Cinemark was a much better experience, and it completely, like, I had this inkling the entire time I was watching it. I was like, this just isn't hitting the way that I think it should. But sorry.
No, good sound design goes a long way. All the games you mentioned, that's the reason I love the 3D audio that the PlayStation has for the headphone stuff now. I played Dead Space that way, and that was a whole new experience because of it.
So, not a great example on everything that you just said, but it's my favorite example. A lot of people didn't like the movie Nope because they get caught up in the nuance and stuff. Yeah. I think it's like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Like, it's good, not great, but I love it. it has this scene though that I was like, that is one of the most horrifying things that I've ever seen, and I didn't see anything. It was hurt.
Again,
Yeah.
it's funny.
I know which part you're talking about.
It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
I get what you're saying, but I was just like, it was
funny.
it was so fucking.
Well, it's super
Like,
dark.
it was really dark, but it was just kind of like
'Cause your
No, I'm not
imagination
talking about
does the
monkey.
rest of
It's
it.
not the monkey.
No, I know which part you're talking about.
Okay, it's like everybody yelling in the creature, and then it's just silence.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That sound design, the new Alien film has these great moments that only to me work in a movie theater where it's pure fucking silence when they're in space, and you can only feel that in something that's designed to be as soundproof as possible. Because if I was watching that at home, I'm gonna be like pure silence,
like 5
and then I'm
text
gonna hear
messages.
a bunch of cats outside, and my dog's gonna freak the fuck out, and I'm just like, well, fuck now, like all the atmosphere is gone.
I spent a lot of time because I wasn't. So let me put it in perspective. Like I'm the type to spend a little chunk of change on some headphones, not any Apple products, on some actual headphones. Sony XM4s, XM5s, some of the best headphones you'll ever
They're
use.
very solid, yeah.
But when I decided to get an audio setup,
that's right, dude. Your whole apartment can thump.
this shit can pop. It can pop and change colors. When I got an audio setup, it really just like my perspective was already super high on audio, and then but it also changed the way that I feel about mixing. Oh my gosh, play something on surround sound and then be like, that shit was mixed like trash. Sometimes anime does a bad job on mixing some things.
Yeah.
Also, I love One Piece to death. Audio design, they use Dragon Ball Z sound effects. But that's just Toei. But
Yeah, Toei just has a library of that stuff.
needless to say, I was just kind of going back to the horror thing. Wow, that was where I started. I said horror audio. Yes. I'm excited with Uzumaki. I'm excited because I think that they're doing a lot of creative, artistic things. It takes a lot of gall to say, fuck it, we're going to do it in black and white and make that impactful and effective. And I like that they took that design choice.
Adult Swim's also airing the Japanese audio first. Like,
Are they really?
yeah, I
That's
think
amazing.
so, yeah.
Yeah, because that whole manga is in black and white. Because everything he's done is in black and white, as far as I know. So I guess they're trying to keep that feel, and it is ballsy as hell to do that with any animation version.
Because color creates the extra depth. I mean, well, let me phrase that. Shadows do, but colors add that extra depth that you might be looking for, and really, and I know, and I can tell that they use some 3D here to help add that extra layer. I think it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be something I watch with my girl because she likes the horror. Like her liking of horror is like a Stockholm syndrome type. You know, it's like that shit scares me, but I like that fear. I'm like damn, that shit happened, huh?
I almost dated somebody who every time I still follow them on Instagram. Every Instagram thing is just like, you watch fucked up shit to be peaceful, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't go as far as fucked up shit can go. Like, I don't want. What's the?
Well, there's good fucked up shit, and there's like dumb, like it's just fucked up for the fucked upness.
There's like,
of it.
I'm trying to think of
Like if somebody says you should
Cannibal
watch
Holocaust,
yeah,
not for me.
Yeah, if somebody's like, well, you should watch Cannibal Holocaust or like a Serbian film if you want horror, like no, it's a terrible idea.
No,
you should never watch those movies for that reason.
Let me tell you. Let me give you my biggest flag. It didn't. Serbian film doesn't make me laugh. That
No, it's
Not scary.
it's not scary.
Like
it's
I
not
said,
scary.
It's an
It just doesn't
example.
make me laugh.
It's an example
Hostel
of
is
fucked
the one
up
I
for
was
fucked
thinking
up.
of.
Hostel's
Yeah.
another good example.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of hostels went down in fucking sales because of that fucking movie.
Oh, I didn't know that part, but yeah.
Yeah, it scared off a lot of people. So the hostels had a hard time at the time.
Gore porn or something?
Yeah, gore
Yeah.
porn.
Gore porn. Yes.
These are great. Yeah,
Not
those
for
are.
me.
I hate those. Those are not my favorites.
What was it? Damn, my brain hit on something.
Like Evil Dead is is the perfect because it's funny with what it does, even if it is fucked up.
If you could be scary without gore, you've executed everything you need to do well.
100%.
Like, I think gore is a crutch for some things. I mean, hot take as well. I don't like Mortal Kombat that much, but hey, each their own.
But I don't think Mortal Kombat is a horror thing.
That's not what I'm saying. I think gore's a crutch for some things.
Yeah, but that was literally the point of the
That
game.
was-
I'm fine with that when gameplay is. I got beef with MK1.
No, I do too. Don't get me wrong.
MK1 is bad.
I said
It's the only MK game I haven't kept going back to over and over again, and it's a pain in the ass.
But I will say,
Or that and Armageddon.
The reason I loved Mortal Kombat for the longest time was the story moved forward. You all were trapped. Now that y'all are moving forward, yeah. Also, yes, the gameplay in SF6, amazing, way better than MK.
I was never trapped. I'm a Tekken kid here.
But Tekken's great. It's also one of the craziest stories in all of
speaking
fighting
to me
games.
like I'm a Street Fighter.
Look, okay, sure. Mishimas keep throwing themselves off at tall
Just
things.
do that. That's just rude.
I'm running away from this conversation.
It's fine. He's going to show us the trailer.
I don't actually have an argument for Tekken. I don't know anything.
No,
close to
Tekken is
mine.
a very insane series, but I like Tekken quite a bit.
All you need to know is that if there are two Mishimas, one of them's getting thrown off of a tall thing.
Yeah, and one of them won't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not a Street Fighter. That's him. I'm not I like Street Fighter. I grew up on Street Fighter. But I'm like, I'm in Guilty Gear. I'm weird. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I said I'm Guilty Gear and every anime fighter you can think of.
Guilty Gear. Damn, no wonder you're so good.
Yes.
Guilty Gear is one of the only fighting games I'm not good at.
Yeah,
Full
because the
stop.
systems are so fucking
It's so
complicated.
yeah, I've never been able to figure that
Well,
shit
you
out.
can't Roman cancel. Fucking loser.
It's pretty crazy. It was the only one I never figured out, no matter what I did.
No,
Even in high school.
how do I describe it? Like, so I remember it to this day. I got Guilty Gear XR2, and I'd consider myself a casual fighting game fan until I got that game. And I remember sitting in the lab for and I was like, my roommates would be like, "Damn, you're up until fucking 4 a.m. every weekend just live." And I was like, "Oh no, something clicked with me." And then after that, it's all fighting games have been like a child's play. It's like my hands just move across the board so much. But yeah, I was a Guilty Gear person, so I ain't got no beef in the race.
I love all fighting games equally. Like they're all really good, except for the ones that are definitely bad. But those did not last very long.
Nah, I'm fighting games are great.
They're fantastic.
And the more the merrier, and let's keep on giving money to them, please.
It's the most times I feel like Goku because it's like I don't care if I lose. I just like having this fun fight with somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, we're opposites. It's the most where I feel like, motherfucker. If you hear my fighting game voice, because
I still get frustrated. Don't get me wrong, but I enjoy a good fight in a fighting game.
my fighting game voice is night and day from my norm. Normally when I'm playing game, I'm like, oh yeah, man.
But who's challenged you? Because you haven't played Mike.
I play online. I play online a lot.
Yeah, online people are
Your
crazy.
face is the Wesley.
Yeah,
Bro, I remember my friends heard me one day. They were like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like, "Yeah." I literally was like, "I hate you. I hate everything about you. I hate your mama. I hate your dad. I just beat your ass so bad. Don't ever waste your time with mirror matchups. Don't ever mirror matchup me. That's how you get your ass got."
we have a good chunk of friends that'll do that. I remember the first time I fought Corey Goodwin in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and it was madness. He would not fucking give up.
But on the same note, Guilty Gear Xrd was how I got into fighting games. Not got into fighting games. What do I really learned fighting games? Dragon Ball FighterZ is still the game I put the most time into.
Well, that's
It's
what
fantastic.
Art Thief says.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z Fighters got me in a
It got a lot of people back into fighting games because it was because it's a beloved franchise with a beloved game developer.
And I love that it brought in a bunch of people who had never played that style of fighting games to try out fighting games. Some stuck. Some were, helping me boost my rank. So, it was a great time for all.
It's a fun time. The new update is batshit insane, apparently, but it's still a good time.
Oh, it's nuts. I don't want to get into all that. It is nuts. It's some of the coolest, just fiendy shit. Oh, you can feel like Vegeta with some of those combos because he just throws key balls.
Just goes
There's
forever.
a whole key ball combo.
It goes forever. It's amazing. I love it.
Fucking awesome.
I legitimately want to get you and Mike and Corey together and see who wins.
Oh, I'd probably lose because I'm really out of shape at it. I started doing ranked matches of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and my hands hurt really badly.
We can switch the fighting games around and figure out who wins. Do another King of the Controller type thing. But
I still can't. I believe I won that.
You did win that. But I don't know if you'd win if
it was straight fighting games.
If it's straight
fighting games.
I'm not the same person who.
I'm rusty, to be honest. I used to. It's just the problem is time. Is really what it comes down to.
I actually think that whole tournament was decided when you played Edward in Call of Duty
Oh yeah, the second. Well, that and the second you're like, and the next game is Halo, and I'm like, oh, he's fucked. I know this map like the back of my goddamn hand.
I see you.
And then you threw Smash Brothers at me too, and I'm like, come on, guys.
The wheel did it. I didn't do shit.
No, but it was the funniest part was me and Jeff were there, and you're like, me and Jeff kept saying, if we enter this tournament, it will not end well for you. And then you're like, but we need somebody. I'm like, fine, I'll do it. And Jeff stood out of it, and then I ended up winning.
I didn't care about winning. I cared that we tripled that bar's income. That they were like, compared to last Sunday, we made triple the money.
Yeah, they
Please
made quite
come
a
back
bit.
and do more of these
Yeah,
events.
they wanted us back like the next week.
They unfortunately do not exist anymore, by the way.
Oh, I know.
We probably
they-
should have gone back.
Yeah, it's purely because we didn't do enough
It was
tournaments.
a lot of work.
We have no footage or anything from that day.
Sam says yes, we do.
Hey, how about you stop eavesdropping?
I do have. I still have the trophy at my house right now.
Yes.
It's there right now.
I have one of the posters framed.
It's in our living room.
He says he's rusty. He goes back and plays all those games that he won. That he won the King of the Control.
No, I still play most of those games. I was bad at.
So
I was
just
bad
to
at
be
Call of
ready.
Duty though.
Just to be ready. You said that moment you said, man, it's a thing of time. I said, nah, I wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, but I wake at 6 a.m. to work.
and I can play on the way to work. I said, I'm kidding. No, I'm not that.
No, I wish I had that. The funny thing is, I do work from home, but the problem is I do support stuff. So I work 10-hour days every Monday through Friday. So I work 50-hour weeks, and so I'm tired by the end of the day. And then
Congrats, JJ.
also my hands are a pain in the ass because they're just. I think I'm just getting old. They hurt. I did ranked MVC2 for the first time when it came out, and my hands felt like somebody stabbed my left hand.
I have
I
noticed.
just do this a lot.
Like it was brutal.
Yeah, I try my best to keep my
His
like,
age doesn't have a 3 in it.
not yet.
Oh, that's right. You're younger than us, so you still have
His knees still work.
You still have power.
My I have a year before like something's gonna come up and be like your youth.
No, it's. I lost a lot
His
of my
joints
stuff
still
pretty
have
quickly.
cartilage.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm in my
Don't do this shit.
It's like,
I'm in my mid
do you
30s
hear
now.
anything? That's right.
Yeah, I'm in my mid 30s now, and after I played ranked for like an hour, and I thought I was gonna die, I was like, I am not built for this anymore.
No, that's when I started. I keep my toes ready.
Like I'm
Someone's
still
gonna
good at it, but like I'm not like I know for a fact high school me could beat me at like every video game I've ever played.
Well, no, I would say maybe if RPGs were competitive, I think what you.
Well, yeah, no, that's the only thing high school me could not beat me at. High school me did not understand what grinding was.
I feel, some in college for me clicked. I said, "Oh,
No, same.
This is what happened."
That's exactly what happened to me. I had Final Fantasy VII for years, and I finally beat it when I was in college because I finally understood what the fuck I was supposed to be doing.
Well,
Sorry.
to get her all the way back to anime, this is an anime that JJ was really excited to
No,
talk
wait,
about.
time out. What's anime?
The point of the show.
Yes,
It's the color purple.
half of it.
信じるわ宇宙人
自分も言うです
This is actually really cool. I heard about this recently.
Just go to the end. So
Yeah, Jeff actually is the reason I found out about that. He because Jeff watches a lot of anime too, and he tells me about all the new anime, and he was the one who told me
Yeah, the
about that
trailer's
show.
only a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So this is one I'm super stoked about. Actually,
Looks
Comes out
really
like next
cool.
week on the
yeah,
3rd.
it comes out on
Is it the 3rd?
the 4th.
Okay.
Hey, man.
I mean, you're too weak to understand. That's October 3rd.
That's what it said, the 3rd.
That's wrong.
Well, who knows Japan's dates? I don't fucking know. Their time travel.
That would be-
I don't know.
now that would be the 3rd for them and
Yeah.
the 4th for us.
Yeah, that's usually what happens with those
No, it'd be the reverse. It'd be the 4th for them.
because they
the
get it
3rd
in
for us.
they get it in the morning, and then we get it
Yeah.
right after that.
It'd be the
basically.
4th for them, the 3rd for us. But that said, so they had an early screening of this. That's
Oh,
why I
really?
actually went to. That's why I said I went to Regal Gateway and then the Cinemark because I was like I watched it with my girl and then I watched it with a friend.
Damn. I wanted to go watch it at the cinema.
It was so I can genuinely. So I've seen the first 3 episodes already. It was the first full 3 episodes. I've seen the opening. seen the ending. It is everything you could want from a production perspective. And this probably has one of the most insane anime directors I've ever seen. Insane in a good way.
Oh, that's good.
He's drawn storyboards or scenes since high school of actual movies. So so what was cool about this screening was it actually started off with an interview, like a 15-minute interview.
Oh, wow.
Which you never get, like, from anime stuff. So
Especially from anime stuff.
So 15-minute interview.
Not even in Dragon Ball Evolution.
Nah.
Toriyama was
He didn't want that.
Just give it a chance, guys. Like,
Well, Dragon Ball Evolution is the reason we got Dragon Ball Super, and I can't help but love it for that reason.
But, like, you got it from the voice actors, the actual author, his editor, and then the director. And for the director, he literally had scenes like that he had drawn out and was like, hey, I don't know if I'll ever need this. Like, literally a long, huge textbook of scenes. And he was like, I don't know if I'll even ever use some of these. But, like, shots that he did from Child's Play, like the fucking Junkie move. Like, he
That's
did
amazing.
a bunch of, and he was like, I just have this repertoire of things on top of my head. And when you watch it, you come out of those 3 episodes and you're like, the stickler me, audio design, immaculate. But the real star of the show is that framing and that and the way that he did some of those scenes, especially in that first episode where there's a bit more dynamicism in some of the locales. And I thought and it didn't have any quality drop. Like, going through all 3 of the episodes, you could tell they were very consistent. I actually think one of the best looking episodes. Because I saw a little sneak when I got from the trailer. I was like, oh, we didn't even see that. And I actually left this. So I had purposely held back on the manga. Like, I'd been I had read up until, I want to say maybe 10, 12 chapters.
Oh, okay.
I got out of these 3 episodes and I killed it. I'm talking, I read all 166 in like 2 days.
I know that feeling.
And all I can say is, it is going to be a fantastic time. And I think, when I say I'm extremely hyped for it, I'm very, very hyped for it. It moved higher up. I mean, because I was hyped for quite a bit of things this season, but it moved to the top of my list of things that I'm super excited more people to see. And I want it to get as much support as it can so it can get that, so it can stay at the studio, get a second season, and show off some of the wild shit that the manga gets in.
That's super exciting. I'm very happy to hear you say all that stuff.
Yes, I mean, it.
You're selling this pretty hard.
It looks fantastic.
I'm buying
everything,
and I'm buying it, by the way. I'm just saying,
everything I hear about it, from its
Give me more
plot
of this
to
cursed
everything
honey that might turn
TJ
you
just
into a
said.
pancake.
It's just, this sounds so fucking cool.
yeah.
It's and I think they do the right balance of if you tell me, like, what genre is this? That's
It's fiction.
it's fiction.
but it is. It looks crazy, but it comes down to being a rom-com more than anything. And I think, and this is not me being a spoiler. Like, you get it right out the gate, but not really.
Do they yell each other's names all out like Inuyasha?
not like that. But
That's always my first default when somebody says rom-com.
And one of the things in the interviews that he says was his editor was like, if you're going to go down this route, like, if you're not going to this route in the manga, he's like, hey, when he was talking about, like, what manga to set up, and, like, kind of like, and they were going back and forth on, like, just his actual, like, implementation of the series when he first was starting off. His editor made him he was like, I made him read 100, like, literally 100 volumes of romance manga. So
okay.
it's actually a shonen author who you can tell has the foundation, like, for both angles. And it's so fascinating because you don't get that from a lot of shonen authors. Fucking Oda's like, romance, yeah.
We ain't touching that, buddy.
Fucking JJK doesn't believe in it. None of them are good at it. This is the first one I was like, you are balancing all of these things very successfully on top of comedy, and it leans very hard in that, on top of very cool action. He does, like, what he's doing is a lot, But it's very rare that you see the execution of all those things come out as well as.
Yeah, the funniest thing is the only other thing I've seen that has something similar, and I'm not going to say it's as good because that would be batshit insane, is My Adventures with Superman, because every single one of those people are clearly inspired by every single thing you just mentioned, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
And
because
to
it
your-
does romance fucking amazingly.
To your point, because I've said it on the show before, My Adventures with Superman is exactly what I fucking want from a Superman show.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I mean, give Superman cool anime powers, I'm gonna be there. But
It does help quite a bit, actually.
I mean, I said that first episode, it comes out, he's like, I said, blue lights, and now we're talking.
Got some electric Superman shit going on.
He's the coolest, but they got the beats right.
Yes.
Where
Like it wears its inspirations on its sleeve.
and they kept on. I think too many things have kept on trying to focus on the super part of Superman, and that's not what makes Superman cool.
Oh, 100%. I've been telling people that for years.
It's the man part, because and it feels like fun, and I think DC's kind of like, well, at least with that series, that's the first. I was like, bro, y'all remembered, fun,
Yeah.
life. That's what Superman should feel like. Popcorn. Want to be there for popcorn and bubble gum. And then I can get into like him having some like, arcs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But
DC is the best when it remembers it was fun. It was the fun kid instead of way Marvel was being the depressing one.
and then they just were like, but now dark.
Now they both do it.
Batman.
Yep.
Suck a dick, Batman.
And not Dick Grayson. That's illegal.
More Batman.
Everything is Batman related.
I'm not a big
They
Batman
gave him
fan.
a star on the Walk of Fame.
The best thing from Batman is Batman Ninja and the Batman 2004.
Are you gonna watch the sequel?
Yeah, they're making
Batman
two.
Ninja.
I mean, come on.
It looks like a lot of fun. I actually really like Batman Ninja.
I liked Batman Ninja
I remember
unironically.
I watched both the dub and the sub, and I'm like, I really like both of these. These are both really good.
It's a fun time, and it reminded me how much of a fun time it was.
Yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun with it. I remember getting into arguments with people who were like, "That was terrible." I'm like, "You did not understand that movie." And but the problem is, I don't know how to explain it to you.
Man, I should have done that more. Because I said, damn, you didn't like it? Shit, I can understand. I loved it.
I love
but I
it.
should have been like, your brain is too undeveloped.
You have to have a really high IQ to understand Batman
You're
Ninja.
not on the plane of that eye.
I was like, the amount of arguments that would
fair.
start if we review shit like that.
Yeah.
It would just be that one Rick and Morty copy pasta, but just Batman Ninja is what changed every time on it.
Man, they had Samurai Flash in the sequel. I'm ready.
I'm super ready for that
He
movie.
was wearing a samurai hat. I said, fuck it, let's do it.
I'm
The
so
unknown's in the
excited.
chat.
Oh, hey, what's up?
But yeah, sorry. I went to ramble.
No, you're fine.
It's super easy to
Well,
ramble
the
that
next
stuff.
one's for the hentai. I mean, you probably know because you're knowledgeable about everything.
No,
But,
that's for y'all. So I'm kidding. I like it.
Oh my god, I'm back. I don't know anything about anime, but you know what I do know about? Grooming. Hi, everybody. I'm pretty ungroomed right now, but that's because I don't have what I'm going to provide for you today. Hey, guess what, everybody? It's Manscaped, Dad. And you know what? Manscaped is a global leader in men's grooming products, and I know because I'm one of them. As in one of the millions and millions and millions of people who use their products on their body, their face, and now their head because they sent me the shaver, the dome shaver. They sent me one. My appeal last episode, I don't even do this show anymore, and I said I want the Manscaped dome shaver for my head. Because look, it's lacking, folks. I'm disheveled in my downtime. And the only reason is because I didn't have the dome shaver, and they gifted it to me. So you'll never see me like this ever again, and I'm very, very excited to get it once I come back because they're shipping it while I'm gone. So, in the meantime, though, we do have the latest and greatest for you. And Manscaped always has the latest and greatest technology when it comes to men's grooming and females grooming and them's grooming. Everybody's grooming. If you got hair, it needs grooming. And guess what? They got that new latest and greatest right there, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. But Sam, they've already released all sorts of other shavers, but no, this one's special. Stroke your chin with a newfound accuracy. 2 interchangeable blade heads give you a gentle and precise shave, whether you want a smooth face or perfectly chiseled stubble. I can't do stubble. Stubble don't look good. It looks like neckbeard. Can't do it. I already have the beard hedger. Yeah, that gets this down. But what about this? Yeah, the beard hedger gets close, but I need it close. And the only way I do that is with the Chairman Pro, and I'm excited to get one very soon. And if you ask nicely, maybe one for you too. So be sure to join all the newest, latest, and greatest Manscaped products and get the Chairman Pro, which is also waterproof. It has the Flex Adjust technology, precision trimmer edge, precision lock, up to 75 minutes of runtime, wireless charging compatible, travel lock, and an LED spotlight. I use the spotlight on more of the products than I'd ever admit to, because you know what else has one? Let me go find it real quick. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra got 2 colored lights. And you know the thing about this right there? Oh, you need light when you're down in the nether regions, and I've saved myself by being able to see where I'm going with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. So, be like the rest of the millions and millions of people in the world. Get yourself the Lawnmower 5.0. Get yourself the new Chairman Pro, and I'm actually pulling up right now that Dome Shaver Pro. I've actually never used one of these types of shavers before, and I'm very excited to try because I'm very particular about the way my head is, and I get lots of like cuts and blisters and sensitivity and stuff if I don't do it correctly. So I want to know how gentle this is. So I will report back come October and get all the information. Heck, I might even do it live and mess up the carpet in here and shave my head and make sure it's nice and silky and smooth, so you know I'm not lying to you. But I never lie to you. I do use Manscaped products, and guess what? You can get Manscaped products for 20% off and free shipping using coupon code MEX20. That's right. Use coupon code MEX20 for 20% off and free shipping. I've told you time and time again, and I'm going to tell you again. 20% off and free shipping using manscaped.com. I mean, what? Manscaped.com. Use coupon code MEX20 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Your balls, your face. Hold on. They got foot stuffs like nail stuff. So like your nails, your feet, your shins. You can definitely shave your shins. Your thighs, your balls, your groin, maybe even your... I mean, I left out Grundle, but Grundle's there too. Your body, your belly, your chest, your armpits, your arms, your neck, now in particular, your face, your mustache, your nose. They got a nose hair trimmer as well, and ear trimmer, so your ears also, and your head. I don't know who needs an eyebrow trimmer, but Manscaped's good. We don't know. But everything I just listed, well, thank you. And so will I. Use coupon code MEX20 for 20% off and free shipping. Bye now.
But this was... Everyone talks about Dragon Ball, and
Yes.
Dragon Ball is great, 100%. But in Mexican TV, this also played all the time.
Yeah, it was on like right before or right
Yeah,
after.
right before. I had a friend in high school who bought all of the manga. Like literally all of it.
I had a work friend at the casino that like had just recently discovered,
And here we go.
and he's like, dude, do you know if you go on eBay, you can buy like Ranma DVDs, but they're in Spanish?
Oh, that was the fun. My brother, the day my brother discovered he would buy Spanish Dragon Ball DVDs, he lost his goddamn mind. Oh my god.
It was, but the part that I thought was really funny was that he was like, I didn't realize that we got an edited. There's a lot of nudity in Ranma, bro.
Oh, dude, have I ever told you the story the first time I ever watched unedited Ranma and a half?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna tell you the story because it involves people you know as well. So it's the same with Marcos. So when I was staying at my Tia Letty's house,
Yeah.
and we decided to go rent videotapes. And so we get there and we found an English copy of the first like few episodes of Ranma and a half.
I also rented this tape.
So it was me, RJ, Artie, my brother, and then my cousin Aaron. And we start watching this thing, and we had that exact revelation. And we were like 13 or something at the time. And we were like, there's a lot of fucking nudity in this show, and nobody is watching us. Because we were in Artie's room, I think, watching it, and we were just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like that we've been watching an edited version of this very, very heavy nudity show this entire time.
I think that's the funniest part of like that. going from an anime and being like, I want to read the manga, and then you're like, what?
You're like, oh shit. Especially at our age that we watched it. You're like, oh my god, there's nudity in this thing? Now I have to read
I
this.
saw that when I was 6, but I saw the edited version.
Turns out we were watching the edited version the whole goddamn time.
Yeah, no, and that's the revelation that happened with my buddy at the casino, because he's like, yeah, the DVDs are high quality. Like, they didn't get they didn't transfer their VHS copies of Spanish Ranma. They got, like, high quality DVDs that were available in Japan, and they just somehow got their hands on the Spanish audio, and they
Oh wow.
manually
They spliced it together.
spliced that shit together. The thing is, since Mexico had the edited version with no nudity, he's like, every time, like, it would randomly just cut to them speaking in Japanese, and I'd like reach for the remote, like, ah, god damn it, where's the fucking button? And then like tits pop out, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
So he's like, so now every time I hear Japanese, I gotta get a chubby. Like,
Yeah, dude, Ranma and a Half is one of my favorite things that's ever existed
Sure,
in
don't even
anime.
play it.
It's so
even
fucking
play it.
funny.
No, that's the one company I can't fuck with.
What is it?
But
Dragon
before we get into that,
Toei, okay.
there is one more. First of all, I'm excited for this because they're doing what I like, which is give some '90s anime love.
Oh, 100%.
Give it that and I love the '90s anime aesthetic. So don't get twisted. I don't want it to go nowhere. Like there's something about that '90s anime aesthetic that rocks, but the adaptations that didn't get like the full oomph that they needed to. This is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of that. And if you're gonna do it right. They didn't switch the designs or switch the styles in this. They just amplified everything.
yeah, they just
to the like.
animated
yeah.
it with modern technology.
We're not going to get in the weeds about it, but there is a really funny conversation of us explaining how Ranma works to Sam.
Oh, really? Yeah. Dude, explaining Ranma to somebody who doesn't know what Ranma is one of the funniest things like you could ever do to somebody.
The water turns him into a panda.
Yeah, and that's just like that's the normal part. When you get into like the more insane shit that people turn into, then they're like, you've completely lost
There's
me.
a Minotaur. What?
Yeah, there's a Minotaur.
His name is Johnny Pantyhose.
And then there's
what?
And then there's this lady turns into this guy turns into like a duck or a geese or whatever, and this person turns into a cat.
End of the stick.
And his name is Moose.
The person who at one point got the shortest end of the stick was what the fuck is his name? You know what I'm talking about? The one who turns into the pig.
No. Keep some
Ryoga?
things for the
No.
people.
He gets the short end of the stick, kind of, depending on what you're thinking of, kind of thing. But I love, watch Ranma and a Half, read Ranma and a Half, get into Ranma and a Half. It's one of my favorite '90s things that I ever saw. It's so good. It's also really funny and a great romance story.
Yeah.
Then I can get Revolutionary Girl.
And
Utena,
also,
come
Shampoo Best Girl. Moving on.
She's kind of crazy, to be honest.
on. There, also,
But like,
What can I say?
also
But I
coming
get it.
out in
I get it. Don't get me
I
wrong.
have a type.
Also coming out in October is I know we're ending off on that. The third season of Bleach is dropping.
I was on there. I didn't know if we wanted to cut it for time or drop it off because Bleach was at the time that it came out. The last season, you were like, "Yeah, bro, Bleach is actually the best thing on right now."
One of them, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're knocking it out of the park with this adaptation, and I'm hoping that they also have the game that we have not talked about at all. The Bleach has a fighting game coming out called Rebirth of Souls as well, but the Bleach anime. That also I wouldn't show it either.
Damn.
I know people
this
aren't
is
that
Vince.
excited
You're gonna
about the
get
game, though, from what I hear.
I've actually heard the inverse. I think a lot of like the at least in the people that I've been kind of linked into have. I think the primary thing that they got thrown off by was the mechanics because the graphics look really good.
Yeah, no, I think it looks great, to be honest. But some people were kind of weird about it.
Yeah, I think it's the mechanics
Okay.
because it's almost like this weird mix of how. Oh my god, blinked. How Smash Bros. Like stock and health bars. It's
Okay.
it's an interesting thing.
I could see that being kind of weird.
But yeah, season 3 is coming out. It's continuing the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Super excited about it. It's gonna look pretty. We know that. But this is actually where the 1,000-Year Blood War really kicks into gear.
Yeah.
And so they've got some crazy things planned, and I hope everyone gets to enjoy it. It'll be good.
I'm pretty sure he's dead. I never watched it, but Bleach is one of the first anime. It's like, bro, there's a Mexican in it.
Yeah, Bleach is.
still
Oh, he's not dead?
No, he's not dead. He's
Yeah,
just kind of piccoloed out. Like,
Yeah, Bleach is one of those shows that you watch that you're just like, I understand exactly why this was as popular as it was when it came out. Because I did watch it when it came out.
And
I'm so happy it's very popular.
And I may be wrong about this, but I think Bleach was one of the first animes that did black people, right?
It did.
yeah.
It was one of the
speak for
first.
Am I wrong?
No.
That's the thing. It also is one of the first animes that introduced the people to the idea of weird ass filler.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Filler
Yeah.
that like okay, so Bleach did filler in a way that was like so
It's kind of insane.
I had this, like the first major filler arc,
The bounce.
that shit got blended in so well. I didn't know it was filler until I learned it was filler later.
Yeah.
And then they just started doing random shit. But not like it's not the worst on the filler scale. I still think Naruto's worse on the filler scale.
It is. Naruto is definitely the worst on the filler scale.
Yeah.
It's still going.
Yeah,
I think
that's all it is
Naruto
now.
invented watch guides. Like I don't.
It did
remember
to me,
there
or
being-
for some places, yeah, it did. It was one of the first animes that I ever watched where I didn't end up watching Shippuden for the first year because I was so gun shy from the fucking filler.
But yeah, like Bleach a lot. Super excited for it.
I'm glad, very glad.
Okay, now into the thing that all of us like.
Well, I have one question, and I hope this doesn't take 5 minutes, but it's just like...
Go for it.
I hear Gundam's amazing.
Yes,
Should I get back into it? I have not watched anything.
you should always watch
options.
Gundam. Yeah,
I know there's plenty of options, but I meant like everyone's like from Blood Orphans on. It's amazing.
I've heard a lot of great things about Blood Orphans. I'm not a
Blood
Gundam
Orphans-
person.
Blood Orphans is great, but if I said exactly why I think it's great, it would spoil a lot of it.
Yeah, that's the issue with Blood Orphans.
Because I can tell you the exact type of genre it is, but it immediately spoils it.
So, all right, that's all I need to know.
But it's great. It's one of my favorites. And then the one after that, what is the name of it? You know what I'm talking about?
Witch
The Witch of Mercury.
Yeah.
That one's also really good. It's a show that also has a lot of romance stuff in it. And then there's an episode where like violence, and you're just like hell yeah.
Because I like giant robots. I just haven't like. I was like,
The problem with Gundam is
You like giant robots. Man, have you watched Eureka 7?
Oh, yeah, that's coming back.
the problem with Gundam is that for a while some of their animes were just ads for model kits,
Yeah,
but you know which ones they are specifically because they even start and end with them, which is the Gundam Builder series.
Builders.
And I like the first two Gundam Build Fighter series quite a bit, but then the third one I hated with a passion, and then I heard it didn't get any better after that. So, which is unfortunate.
There's just an element where I'm like, how long can you fight Zion? Like, I just stop.
Well, that's the thing about Gundam is that what makes Gundam great is the fact that after they got done with the Universal Century universe, they were just making a bunch of weird shit, starting with G Gundam, which is one of my favorite weird shit because I call it Super Street Fighter Gundam because that's basically what it is, and it's just so much fun. And there's so many great. And the thing about Gundam is there's so many ones where like this is a fun one, this is a fucked up one, this one's a super fucked up one, and then you go back to fun. Like it all varies. That's the problem with Gundam. Like you have no idea what you're gonna get into until you're like halfway through the series. Sometimes.
I really, really liked the origin where it's like
Oh, yeah.
backstory.
That's great.
That's fucking great.
And then if you like Gundam Wing, watch 00
Yeah, Double O is also
because it's
Okay, that
very
one I've seen.
it's very similar to that. Yeah.
But
Damn, I thought it was the Big O. No, I'm kidding.
The Big O is fantastic. If people have not seen the Big O, please watch the Big O.
anime. No, probably not even accurate. But Super Dragon Ball Daima.
You can call it Superboy, weren't you?
I was gonna say Dragon Ball Super Daima. That's what I wanted to say. But a lot of people have been highly critical. We've actually talked about it before, but it's finally coming out.
I am super fucking excited for Dragon Ball Daima.
hyped.
I am
It's all by the
hyped
shirt.
because it's just more Dragon Ball stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing about the time that we were in is that this might be the who knows. It's the last of the Toriyama made Dragon Ball ideas because he worked on it super closely. It was the last thing he fully like put all of his into. Because everything from here on is just like
Tortara.
notes, basically. And yeah, Tortara, who is amazing, don't get me wrong. I love that guy to death. But from here on, from the second Daima's done, it's all like maybe some notes that he left over kind of thing.
I'd only say the last lingering thing is anything that's been in the manga before this. Because I do feel like if you haven't, first of all, if you haven't ever read the Super manga,
It's crazy.
it's actually, if you have, there's some people who really don't like Super. If you don't like Super, just read the arcs after where the story ends off in Super, and you'll love the Super manga. It handles things very, very well. But the last chapter they ended off on before Toriyama, I mean, right around when Toriyama passed away, before they went on hiatus, it feels like this was like a Toriyama kind of interaction. because it ends on kind of like a crescendo of things.
No, it
which is
actually
fun.
straight up. There's a moment at in the final panel where that Piccolo does that was a Toriyama note. Like that entire last chunk of that chapter is so Toriyama because he straight up was like, this should happen and this should happen, and it makes it that much better because of it.
So like I feel like once that's been animated, that'll be like it.
Well, the thing is, the last manga chapter is like directly after Superhero, and that's one of the only things that hasn't been animated outside of one other. There's two major arcs, but the last, like I'm saying, there's the last part of the manga for some reason is like after Superhero, but everything between Brawly and Superhero has nothing animated wise.
Yeah, it's
which
weird.
is the fuck is his name? The goat. You know,
Goat Man?
What is his
Laura.
name? Yeah, his arc and Granola's arc, which is a strange name, but I know why he's named that.
The food puns continue.
Yeah, and so I love if you guys have never read those manga stories, they're great. They have a lot of amazing characterizations for everybody. Like, and they especially the stuff with Bardock in the Granola arc. I loved every bit of it. And Daima is fascinating because it is being treated so much better than I think even Dragon Ball Super was being treated.
It's being treated. If I'm being honest, it's being treated with the respect that I think Dragon Ball should be. I think Toriyama
100%.
deserved every dollar of Toei's effort for
Yes.
Super, and they didn't get that.
No, and it's frustrating. It still frustrates me to this day that Super, especially that first chunk of Super, it's fucking
really rough.
dog shit.
Where Super ends off is fine, but
No, yeah, the thing is Super eventually turned in a way that worked very well, and it all happened because it was right after the point where the movies that had come out had stopped, and then you have new stuff finally, and then they got better directors that were doing very well with what they did. And then, yeah, it ended. The manga's still great. Of course, the games are still great. And the Kakarot added a lot, too, that were Toriyama ideas, so even that continues some of his stuff. But Daima,
it's going to be his last pure...
it's his last hurrah. And it's interesting, not just because it's being treated in an interesting way by Japan, but also being treated in an interesting way by America, in my opinion. Because of the dub... You guys know about the dub, right?
Yeah.
And what I like about what they're doing with the dub is that I wasn't the biggest dub watcher. Don't get me wrong. I watched the Mexican dub. That was what I grew up on. but I played all the games that had the dub because you couldn't at the time there wasn't a Japanese option. So I still fell in love with those voices eventually. And so the voice that I fell in love with the most that was highly missing once Dragon Ball Kai started is finally coming back. And I'm super fucking happy for everybody who was going to watch the dub because that voice, if they'd used the Dragon Ball Kai voice, I would have fucking killed myself.
I think she's an immaculate voice talent. But what I will say is that...
For being coy, by the way, her name is Stephanie Naldani? Is that how you say it?
I think she's an immaculate voice actress. I just think, at least the toughest hill for me was Teen Gohan.
Oh, exactly.
Teen Gohan, in everything that I'm like you. I was so, like, games are, if you want to know my Dragon Ball experience, games were actually how I experienced the story for the first time, fully and truly. So, to be trained on one voice and to get something else is normally, and even in some other things, it's not nearly as off-putting.
No, because
that one was just tough.
Yeah, because Bulma's
And not
voice...
because she's bad, just...
Yeah, because Bulma's voice changed as well. Like, there was a lot of voices that changed between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Kai's dub, but that specific voice, it was so completely different in such a different way that it completely throws people off. It threw me off immensely. And the worst part was the reason it threw me off was because there's one specific game that did this that was so fucking funny, which was Ultimate Tenkaichi. Did you ever play that game? Mm-hmm. So Ultimate Tenkaichi did something fucking weird. So in the English version, for some reason, I don't know why they did this, they didn't always use the same voice actor for specific lines because they were reusing old lines.
Yep.
And it was one of the first times I was like, I'm immediately changing this to Japanese, and I never looked back because because I was doing the Frieza fight, and it was going between Linda Young and Chris. I forget his last name.
Was it Ayers?
Ayers, yeah, it was Chris Ayers at that point. It kept going back and forth between those voices, and I was like, "What the actual fuck is going on?" And then it did the same thing to Gohan. It was going between Stephanie Naldani, the original one, and then whoever the newest version. I don't know their name, to be honest. And I was going fucking mad. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It's one of those things where there's just some voices that are hard to replicate, and especially in dub. I mean, you're going to notice,
especially in dub,
and so like so they did do that, and I think that appeases a lot of people. But also, Daima's just going to be interesting in the sense of, I mean, elephant in the room. Do I love the kid angle? I'm net neutral at best. I just think I want to say it's like I feel like it's almost their crutch of like I need something creative. Let's turn him into
I'm out of ideas. Bring back Kid Goku.
Well, the thing is, the reason I'm fine with it is because Toriyama clearly wanted to go back to the adventure angle, and that was the thing that GT tried to do and failed miserably. Was the fact, and this is the reason I am always annoyed with people who've never watched original Dragon Ball, because they're just like Dragon Ball Z is a fighting anime. I'm like, yeah, but that's because Dragon Ball Z is that. Dragon Ball itself is this fun,
it's an adventure,
fun ass adventure. I've had to explain this to multiple people who are like, should I get into Dragon Ball? I'm like, yes, but I don't. And by that I mean like people have never seen any of it, and they're like, should I just start with Z? I'm like, please don't do that, because and not because I don't think Dragon Ball Z is a good show, but because there's so much lost to Goku as a character, because this is one of the things that people used to tell me all the time. They're like, Goku doesn't have a character arc in Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, he doesn't, because it's all in Dragon Ball, and you motherfuckers didn't watch it. He's a grown ass man,
and I don't love some of the characterization they do in Super, but I think some of the notes that people didn't like in Super, I'm like, y'all weren't prepared for Goku to be the dumb idiot, because that's how he was in Dragon.
You weren't prepared for Goku to be Goku again.
He's a country bumpkin. That is literally what he is. He was not given a form.
Well, not only that, the other reason is because only dub watchers were treated to Goku as the Superman archetype, because the writing changed his entire personality in the American version, which is the reason why when somebody says
the one that fights the night.
Yeah, whenever somebody's like, "Hey, should I watch the dub?" Like, if you watch original Dragon Ball Z, do not watch that dub. If you watch Dragon Ball Kai, watch that dub, because that's an actual translation. Because I see arguments about that stuff all the time, especially with Majin Vegeta's arc. Because when people watch Majin Vegeta in the original English dub, they're like, "Oh, he's so cool," and he's like, "I'm the best," or whatever. And then they watch Dragon Ball Kai, he's like, "Well, he sounds so whiny." I'm like, because that's what's actually happening. He is having a midlife crisis in the middle of a tournament, and it's everyone's problem now.
It's a midlife crisis where he can have actual repercussions.
Yes.
There is an element of Super, and it's not a focus at all, but it does create really sincere, cute moments. Like, I remember, I think it's Goku talking to Piccolo, but all I remember is that Goku is just like, he's sitting on his porch, and it's like in between something happening. He's like, I feel really old, because he's watching Gohan play with his granddaughter. Like, I never get to feel like an old man, and I was just like, that's a sweet moment that's
Goku has
completely lost.
Some of my favorite characterization of a character ever, because he's one of the only characters that we've seen pretty much from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like, they're so rare. It's so rare for that to be not only from beginning to end written by the same guy, but feeling the same the whole way through.
Yeah.
I have never once felt like Goku was out of character the whole way through. Then even the points where people are like, "That's out of character," I'm like, no, he's just an idiot.
and the one thing, and the craziest part is, the one thing that GT gets right is actually, I feel like, the ending.
Yes,
and
it's one of the greatest endings of any anime I've ever seen.
Too bad everything else before that sucks.
Yes, 100%.
I want to be a Super Saiyan 4. Shoot me with laser. Like, shut up. But to that point, my only critique towards the adventuring angle is I still like. I think somewhere in Toriyama's head, he's like, adults can't adventure.
that is the thing, and the thing is that you can see that in anything he's ever done.
Yeah,
you can see it in Dr. Slump. You see it in Sandland.
Yeah,
and you see it in Dragon Quest. Like when it comes to his designs, like he genuinely, for some reason, believes that. And I have no idea why.
Shoot, you see it in Chi-Chi. It's like,
Yeah, you also see it in Chi-Chi. But the thing, yeah, you see it like constantly, and it cracks me up that for some reason you can't be whimsical if you're an adult.
I do think overall, and this is something that was funny about. I had a conversation with my friend Langford, the one that showed me the WebMD arc earlier. But he was telling me that he was like, bro, I can't watch anime right now, dude. I just can't go back to high school. I'm 38. And I'm like, well, Kaiju number 8. Like, you can be a 30-year-old protagonist in anime sometimes.
It is tricky because that was one of the reasons I got into Tiger and Bunny when I was getting older. Because I was starting to feel older, and I was still in my 20s. Like, it's just that stuff had been happening so fast in my life at the time that I was just like, I don't connect with the teenage ones anymore because everybody's just like, I'm a teenager and I just love my family and my crushes. And I'm sitting there and like 26 and I'm just like, I shouldn't be like, I should have a crush on My Hero Academia characters who are like 14. It's like, no, that's not what's happening here anymore.
whoa, Japan
kind of thing.
okay.
But even then, that like happened later on. Like the worst offender for me at the time, because I loved everything about it except for its fan service, was what the fuck was the name of it? It was that game one.
Sword Art?
No, it was
Leveling?
it was about a brother sister duo.
No Game No Life.
No Game No Life. Exactly. It was that one specifically. And No Game No Life, I loved everything about it except that its fan service was about like a 12-year-old girl or 11-year-old girl, and I'm just like, whoa.
I don't think that's you getting older. I think that's just Japanisms, and
That was just creepy, but it also
being like,
but the problem
"No,
was I was
Japan."
definitely getting older either way. But the problem was that was the moment I started realizing that this was that I should remember that most anime characters are under 18.
Yeah,
don't
And
do it.
so yeah, once I started realizing that, it was the moment, it wasn't even the fact that it was what was happening, it was just that it finally hit me that like these characters were under 18 and I was in my 20s at this point, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I can't like crush on these without somebody being weird about it, kind of thing.
I think I've kind of had a full circle moment. Well, I don't think I've ever felt that way. I mean, I've never. I don't.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't get crushes on
Chris Hansen.
I get what you're saying too.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah, but
and
I
it was what you were
certain
saying.
characters are written to be waifus. Like that's just
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
things work.
And
It's supposed
that's
to-
fine, but
yeah.
but the thing is that like you
There's
watch
a difference between like crushing on Casca, who's a 20-something-year-old woman, and crushing on Sailor Moon, that's 12.
Yeah.
exactly. And so well, the reason Tiger and Bunny was so great because it was the first time ever, and at that point to me at least, because for some reason that I saw myself in a protagonist. And I still do to this day, which is Wild Tiger.
Yeah.
Because Wild Tiger is one of the only anime characters I've ever seen that just looks like he's Latino. And he's probably not, but he just looks like he's Latino. But he's also just this awkward 30-year-old guy that everybody's like, you're way past your prime. And that's one of the reasons I'm like, I still completely feel for that guy to this day.
And I'm with you in the sense of like I really do like that some anime do take the step forward of being like, for me, there's like Grand Blue is an anime that's about a college kid, like, and first of all, not that Grand Blue. I should say Gray and Blue.
What the fuck is that?
Grand.
Oh, Grand Blue Fantasy.
Grand Blue.
I love Jojiro, the color purple time.
It's literally about like a college dude who like from episode 1 he just gets blackout drunk and like wakes up in the front of the building and he's like, fuck,
It happened again.
Yeah.
he's literally like, because they were like, we'll promise we'll get you to class, and he just wakes up like in his boxers just drunk, and he's like and he's just in study hall like like judging other people. Like it's that type of random shit. And when anime starts to, yeah, really, if you've never watched Grand Blue, actually, y'all if y'all have never seen it, go watch that first episode for me sometime this week.
I know they dropped the ball. Not to interrupt you too much, but Zom 100, it's giving me Zom 100 feels of where it's like, oh, I go drink and then I hang out. Like,
it's basically that, but a lot more drinking. Like they have a joke, or like they and it gets and the only spoiler I'll give you, they have a joke like in the middle of the season where like they have to poison another like team because they're playing tennis against them because they poisoned them, and like literally they poured like the liquid out of their the liquid out of their flask, and it like immediately evaporates because that's just the proof of alcohol they're using.
Oh my goodness.
And they're like, and trust me, if you want to see some alcoholics and just dudes who will cock block their friends, it's so funny. But it's funny in the sense of I can laugh at this. I can engage on this in the fullest extent because these are dudes who are like, and at the time I was like, shit, it's not far off my age, you know.
No, yeah, that's exactly. It was one of the reasons I was really in at the first because I heard it fell off was the that moon one where the guy wants to go to the moon. Because his brother is like an astronaut, but he
shit,
and because I really like that when it started.
This one out.
No, I haven't read it, so I don't.
Well, because I watched the anime version of it, and I really liked it because the main character was like this older guy.
No,
you're not gonna get it from that. Brothers.
I think brothers. Brothers something.
Brothers. Just put brothers in front.
It involves brothers, but two brothers. Sorry, that's a Rick and Morty joke. But it was involved. Like the guy wants to go to the moon, and I really liked the beginning of it. I heard, like I said, I heard it drop the ball.
Oh, it's literally space.
But yeah, space. Exactly. And so his older brother is just like he's living at home and stuff, and like and at the time I was kind of burnt out, like the way I was, and I was stuck at home.
The greatest anime.
And it was another great example of me like feeling for the guy because it was that kind of age, and like the more animes I was getting into was more about like the older people. Even when I got into My Hero Academia, I was still more like into the older, the hero characters, especially All Might. Like All Might was like, he's my guy, kind of thing. And then especially when you meet, the rest of the teachers, I'm like, this is just a fun time, like from here on.
And I think like because a lot of the anime that like, especially like when you start to kind of get into your anime journey and you're watching, is based off of like kind of the shonen trees.
Yes.
And the further you get away from that pool, the more diversification of anime and different experiences you're going to get. And then I also think shonen itself has kind of leveled up its approach in and of itself. Like if you like JJK, they're still in high school. They have, but you never really feel that the entire time.
That's how I felt. That's how people feel about JoJo, because JoJo's a Bizarre Adventure
JoJo
was like
high school.
They're like I'm in high school. They're like, it's like that
looks like Arnold
that guy's jacked as shit kind of thing. But even then, the later arcs where they get skinnier because his art style was changing, you still don't feel like that even then, because the way his writing is just keeps going in a way that like, oh, this is still a lot of weird adult shit going on. So you never feel, because it never stops to be like, what club should I join kind of thing. Like it never does anything like that. Like, and those are the ones that hit me. It's the reason.
Stop Dio.
Yeah, it's the reason I stopped getting into slice of life animes, because I'm just like, I just don't feel these anymore.
I can do it depending on the top.
Yeah. I can do it like if they're into the same hobby or something.
Well, no,
that's
it's not even
different,
that.
I
Like
guess.
JJ recommended a slice of life anime, which may be a little bit fanciful in the sense that it's a child living by himself, but Kotaro Lives Alone is one of my favorite things that I saw that year.
Yeah, that just sounds interesting, though.
I like slice of life because I think the way I frame it is because I'm what you'd call a romance anime whore.
That's fair, though.
Same.
That's completely fair.
But
slice of life is full of them.
Yeah, but it's not the fan service that gets me, right? It's more so
It's the
I want to see
the actual
y'all win. Let's
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's okay. I love to say this because a lot of people don't understand it. It's our stories. You know what I'm talking about when you say it that way. I'm watching my stories.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I think about when it comes to that, because romance stories are very much like I am watching my stories, because I want to see them. I want to see these crazy kids get together.
Yeah, it's,
Kinda
it's
thing.
literally like you knuckleheads. Y'all are cute.
Yeah, you're adorable, and that's why there's a meme I shared recently. I think you saw it, where it's just like kiss right now, and it's like it's Jake Johnson holding a gun to somebody, because I'm just like. Because I was like, will they, won't? Like, will they, won't they? They fucking better. Is my idea? Is my fucking thought process? Because shows are getting canceled too fast, so they better fucking get together before these fucking things cancel. And anime doesn't have the same issue American shows do when it comes to the slow burn. But when you watch anime slow burns, you're like, oh my god, just tell each other already.
Let's get it popping. But to that point, if you've never watched anime or you're not into anime, I still think what I've always appreciated about anime, even why, I can still watch such a diverse range of shows, is because I still feel like even in some of the high school ones, they still tackle a lot of mature sort of interactions and things of that nature that American shows wouldn't go near. So it's kind of
100%. Yeah, there's the thing that's one of the reasons why I think we all clicked with anime when we were younger. It's just it dealt with stuff that
it was the cool shit.
It dealt with stuff that like Animaniacs wasn't gonna fucking tell you, kind of thing. Like, and that was interesting.
Boots before they tackled anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. Like it wasn't. I feel like animation.
That anime water drop for anxiety has been there since I can remember, man.
Animation was one of the first times I realized anxiety was a thing, because like every character had an anxious moment, and they weren't shy. They wouldn't shy away from it, and I like that about it.
Like guys being super emotional. And like not just being cool, like just being like, oh no, this cool guy can be dorky, weird, like extra, all that kind of thing, and express themselves in a variety of ways, just as much as even depression, and showing some characters like hikikomoris are shown off in anime. The ones who are like people who like stay at home and never leave.
And there was an anime, a friend of mine.
JJ, no.
Yeah, there's a.
Well, we gotta drag him out and watch football.
There was an anime a friend showed me not that long ago. I don't even know how old it was, but it was about like a teacher that was just like clearly depressed as fuck, and like in just his weird ass students, and it was really funny, but it was not shy away. Yeah,
teacher. Musica?
Yeah, exactly. And that one, I loved it. It was so fucking funny, but it was like...
It looks shitty as fuck just because it was made in like 1991.
Yeah.
But it still holds up in prime like...
100%.
You look shitty as fuck.
Don't I was also made in 1991.
And even when you watch Dragon Ball, there's like characters that are kind of are depressed by certain things. And
that's
like,
probably the hardest thing to get people into Dragon Ball is like, it doesn't look great.
Like that's the thing, is that like the problem is that the Utes, is what I'm going to say, for some reason don't like old things, and that frustrates me immensely.
Oh my god, don't get me started.
It's one of the reasons these remasters do as well as they do, because they refuse to go back to anything else.
I don't want to judge them too hard. It took me a while to watch Gundam 1 the first time.
No, I mean like for games and stuff too, because it's the reason why fucking Silent Hill 2 remaster is going to sell well, because little Timmy, who's like 15, will not pick up a PS2 to save his goddamn life, kind of thing. And that's
also a game preservation thing.
Yeah, and it's just going to keep happening. And because
Konami destroyed that code, like
well, kind of, but yeah, the problem is that like there's so many things that you're like you want to get kids into stuff, and you want to like teach them the things that you were brought up on, but they won't do it unless it's the new version or something.
It's why why indies are so hit on me, because there's some that have come out recently that emulate PS1 graphics, which is like kind of been a thing. I'm like, oh man, that atmospheric feeling is just. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. Going back to Dragon Ball, as you can tell, there's 2 people here that are excited, and 2 other people here that are excited as well. We just can't show it.
Yeah, they made fun of us for not wearing Dragon Ball stuff earlier.
I didn't make fun of him. I was just saying I love the shirt, and it cost me $70.
No, the chat was. But,
okay.
Yeah, at least you have a black man on yours. JJ didn't include him. He's not there.
Because he was the bad guy at that point. Yeah,
fair.
He would have been an old man.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming out. This has been the Animexcellence. I'm going to try to make an argument to split this into 2 episodes, Key. But outside of that, have a good night.
Don't do it. Give him it all. Kidding.
take it to raw.
Outside of that, guys, thank you for coming out. Join us Tuesday, TJ already has a win under his belt, and Tommy forgot to do to do his pick'ems.
I did mine. Okay.
More ginger shots for everybody.